First off, thanks to the student section, student appreciation night. They came in thick down there, felt it, and very appreciative. I think our attendance in these normal games has slowly been building, and it's our job. We're going to keep working to make sure that we make them proud over there, and we need them to continue to show up while we work. Tough one tonight against a very talented Florida team. We just weren't able to put both sides of the ball together for long enough. So, again, proud of. I thought we competed at times. We just got to clean some things up, learn from this, and right back at it on Sunday.
Coach, you just said a very tough Florida team, but looking at the stat sheet, your stats are pretty similar. What did you see out there? What was the dividing factor?
Yeah, it's just we weren't able to put both sides of the ball together at the same time. I thought we got enough stops early in the game defensively, but our offense I thought we were a little stagnant. We weren't overly aggressive. I got to find a way. Like this one next to me makes so many plays for us, but it can't be just her. It's got to be all of us. And I think that's going to make the game a little bit easier for her. But sometimes because of that, we just look at her to try to be the only one to make a play. And we're obviously capable of other people. I thought, had a much better second half aggressively. Raven added some offense there in the second half. So it takes all of us, right? And that's, again, my job. But we got to put both sides of the ball together at the same time. To shoot 41%, obviously I'd love to shoot better from the three-point range. We've not shot it well against other Power 4 teams, and we got to be better at that. But defensively, it just was not good enough collectively. 50% from the floor, 50% from the three. It's going to be hard to win games. You allow that to happen.
Well, your coach just said it. I mean, it felt like you were playing with your hair on fire out there. What was going through your head in those moments?
I was just trying to be aggressive. My job is to make it easier on everybody else and just do whatever it takes to win. So that's kind of, what my mindset was. But I felt like I didn't do a well enough job defensively. I felt like it was times where we got stops and I didn't do my job on the defensive end. So I take ownership of that. But just us as a collective, we just got to go back to the drawing board and continue to get better.
As a leader for this team, what are you telling your girls in there right now in the locker room?
Just keep our heads up. Like you said, Florida is a very talented team. Even though they were 4-4 coming into this game, we knew that their talent didn't really tell like their record. So we knew it was going to be a test. But we got a lot of season to go, so we just got to continue to keep showing up and continue to just keep getting better.
And going into Sunday's game, what can you take from your performance tonight against a really great team?
Right. I think for us as a collective, like you said, it was a lot of bright spots. I think we need to take a lot of confidence heading into Radford. Of course, like we're going to look at film and try to get better at the things that we didn't do that well at, but we also need to take some confidence going in to know that we can play with some really good players.
And Coach, on your end, what can you see happening this Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we just get a little bit better. I think we got another opportunity. It's a good thing in this sport. We don't have to wait a ton of time. We got finals coming up, so that's a distraction a little bit. I say distraction, it's important, right? We got to make sure we take care of grades. Obviously, Sunday will be a little bit before that, but then into next week. So how do we continue to get better, right? We got to keep working. This is our whatever game it is, 6th, 7th game together. We can talk about their freshmen really, really good, but they got a lot of kids that have been over there too, and every game has been that way. And so going into Radford, how do we get a little bit better, a little bit tighter? And again, there are a lot of bright spots that we got to take from this, but we don't like this taste in our mouth. We got to fix some little things. The good news is a lot of it's controllable, right? We're making too many mental mistakes when you can't. We had 3 possessions down 5. In all 3 possessions of those in the fourth quarter, we made a mental mistake, right? And we can't allow that to happen if we want this thing to push forward and get over the hump. So those are things we got to learn, right, so that we can put that into play on Sunday.
Coach, it was 13-13 after the first quarter. You guys did a really good job with ball security, only 1 turnover, and then 6 turnovers in the second quarter was when things kind of started to snowball on you guys. How can you continue to emphasize ball security and just making sure you're getting shots up each time down the court?
Yeah, we know it's important. I think some of it was – obviously they did a good job of hedging some we knew that coming in. We tried to get some actions that could take the hedge away a little bit. I think some of the turnovers, though, it's everything's in spurts. 6 turnovers. We also went 3 for 12 from the floor. It's hard basketball to play in that stretch. So we get outscored 19-8 in that quarter, and you lose by 13, right? So it's them stretches that we got to fix, right? My word going in the day was sustainability, right? We got to sustain every quarter all the way through. It's kind of what you took from Brad and their group against Kentucky, that so that they don't go on 10-0 scoring runs, right? Teams are going to go on runs, but 10's hard to get back. So we got to have better ball control. It's got to be not in spurts, because 13 overall in an entire game is not too darn bad, right? But it's just in that spurt. 6 and a quarter is too many.
And then obviously Loyal did a good job coming out of halftime. Mia did a great job as well, kind of setting the tone offensively. What was the key to that outburst in the third quarter offensively? I think you guys put up 26 in that frame.
Yeah, I think we did a much better job of spreading them out, but also being aggressive. We kind of went through a little bit different action there for a stretch to pull that ball screen, get it back to Mia, let her get downhill a little bit. But again, it all starts with our aggressiveness. But we got to have a tempo to us, right? Sometimes we're going too fast, sometimes too slow. Like pure basketball, the ball's moving, we're sharing it with good spacing, and we just don't have a good tempo quite yet, right? And the final piece is, and this has kind of been one of our downfalls, is like we got to be better at scoring around the rim consistently, right? And that's not just, again, yeah, maybe it's Loyal, but maybe it's Mia, but maybe it's like we went 17 for 30 from layups. Like, it's hard to continue to press forward. Sometimes it's discouraging. I'm sure I've been there, right? Like we're trying to get them to stay with it, stay positive, right? But it's hard to do that, if you do those in a row, right? They went 14 for 21 from layups, right? There's a huge gap there, and so, but that's what we're going to work on, right? We're going to continue to stay with it, because I do think that we have the right kids with the right mindset that are willing to get better. And really, ready to push this thing forward.
Loyal obviously did a good job in the second half of kind of setting the tone offensively, but it felt like there was a point in time where you kind of hit a different type of rhythm, and you were trying to kill every time down the court. You talk about kind of entering that flow state, and when you see that you have the chance to be aggressive, what's your mentality when driving to the cup?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think, it just starts with me being aggressive. I think that's how I'm going to be able to create for my teammates. I think sometimes I get in a mindset where I'm like, okay, I need to create, but in order for me to create, I have to be aggressive first, and then that will open things up for them. So that was kind of my mindset, but it just happened to where I was able to get to the basket. Sometimes I'm able to kick to them, so that was my mindset, just constantly keep going, keep being aggressive.
As both of you are leaders of the team in different ways, just kind of talk about how Sunday you all are going to carry this mentality, maybe. Sometimes mental toughness cannot be there when you're not making shots, but how are you going to carry your mental toughness and mentality into Sunday's game?
I think for me personally, I'm just going to continue to use my voice. I think today I took a step in the right direction, just communicating, continuing to use my voice. It can always get better, but I think that's one thing that I'm going to try to, continue to do better on Sunday, just continuing to lift people up, continue to pour into them, and then I think that'll lead to positive things.
I agree 100%. That's been my challenge to her, right? Is again, we're 7 games together, right? And so I'm coaching in a way that maybe she's not been coached before, right? I'm holding her accountable, and I'm asking so much of her, and that's hard, right? It's hard on somebody like this, and the weight can't be just on her shoulders, right? So it's she's got to uplift, no doubt, right? But then I got to get some along the way to uplift her, right? And it's a collective group, and so. I think that the biggest thing with us is that we got to continue to tighten the fist, right? We go through times where it looks like here it comes, but then we just don't have it quite there, right? I think that's exactly what she's talking about. So that's the challenge, right? That's what hopefully you'll see, right? Is I think the right intent is out there. We want it so bad, but sometimes that takes us into a negative state, right? And understand that we got to let that stuff go. And how do we collectively get that? Right, we don't have it yet.
More questions? Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Go Tigers.